Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's edition of HR Mentorship Learning Series. And we have chosen a very interesting topic for discussion tonight. And the topic is digital culture. Our facilitator today is not a new face on this platform. She's Ruth Edopai, and she has graciously, magnanimously agreed to be the facilitator for today's session. Just in case of a few people who may not know her, she has a very robust experience. Currently, she works as the head of human resources at Peckstone and Grace LP, and proud to now, she has served in various capacities, including talent acquisition specialist at the virtual HR. She was also senior associate human resource consulting with SIAO. Prior to that, she was a brands and communications executive at Wema Bank. Also, she had experience as company secretary and head of legal with Visa Fisheries. She was admin and HR manager at Omega Rocks and Minerals, and also at Europe Arts Limited, where she served as head of HR and admin. She has a very robust experience in law firms like J.O. Nwoye and Associates, and so on and so forth. Without further ado, I'm excited to present yet again on HR Learning Series platform, Ruth Edopai. Thank you for your generosity. You have the floor, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here again. So today's topic is digital culture, and we may wonder what digital culture is or how the two come together. Well, we're in an age of digitalization. I'll start with that. Everything is evolving and changing as it is. Old processes that we used to know are becoming obsolete, and new trends and new processes are coming on board. So being that we're becoming a digital and AI-powered world, it is necessary for us to fine-tune our culture as we now know it into something that would welcome the digital transformation that is coming our way. So I'll start with this. So it's been said that culture can be a gate or a gateway into literally anything. And you know that culture has also been said to be the way and lifestyle of a people, or the mannerism of a set of people, a group of people, or an organization. But digital innovation, it has also been said that digital innovation, change happens at the speed of culture. So for you to innovate, for you to create or bring something into being, it also has to be influenced by your culture. If it's not influenced by your culture, it will be hard for you to bring anything innovative, or for anything that you have brought that is innovative to actually last or stay, if it's not fine-tuned by your culture. But then again, shockingly, it has also been reported by results of survey that culture has also been seen to be the biggest obstruction for digital transformation. Why, you might add? You see, if your culture is obsolete, or your culture prefers to be analog, you most likely will not be able to receive transformation. If your culture says, let us live, we like things the way they are, we don't want to change, we don't want to move, then you can't accept digital transformation. You know, it's been said from a book called The First 90 Days that, you know, it is what the people do. It's what the people do and not what the people say. That's what culture can be defined as. So for digital transformation to occur, the people have to act in a way that allows for digital transformation. So we come to what is digital culture. So digital culture is a workspace shaped and influenced by digital tools and technologies. In companies with advanced digital cultures, most employees use digital tech to collaborate, innovate, and offer customer access to service and support. For those that are customer-centric companies, your digital culture allows you to collaborate and innovate and offer customers access to better products, better services, better support. If not the word customers, clientele, still one and the same thing. But most importantly, it your processes are influenced by digital tools and technologies, hence the word digital culture. And most companies still prefer the regular ways of doing things. Maybe they use hard copy invoices. They prefer to send memos up and down, and people minute on memos as it were in the secretarial days, and whatnot and what if. So it makes bureaucracy really, really operate or function effectively, and it makes cultural transformation really, really hard to occur. So what does digital culture look like, you may ask? So it is the use of digital communication tools to make work faster. We have things like Slack, we have things like Teams, we have Discord, we have a lot of digital communication tools that have come up to help us communicate better and faster, depending on what we apply to your organization. These are inexhaustive. There are so many. Even you have people that have some HRIs, have some platforms whereby teammates can communicate using their HRI services. Yes. So it builds genuine connections between employees working remotely. So there's often said that there's a disconnect in remote working. People are disconnected because we barely see each other, especially for those that are full-on remote. You have people working across various countries that have never met each other. So there's not this connection and this bond that comes from working in an office does not exist. So, but with digital culture, you see that your processes are built for work from home or hybrid or flexi time, whatever suits your organization. So you get to see that your processes are created to encourage that. You now have people doing TGIS remotely, people doing team bonding remotely, onboarding remotely, so in as much as I haven't met my colleague, I have this sense of belonging that I work with a teammate, I work under a team lead, I work with a team. I'm part of a digital family, so to say, even though we are not physically present. So it builds genuine connection. So automate repetitive responses. There are some things that are automated already. So the idea of you always repeating, no, there are tools that just make it work. So you schedule emails. There are some other tools that once you just set it to occur at a certain time, it delivers the message. A lot of these are now done ultimately. You have platforms that allow for reimbursement. They come with recruiter. I know for one commercial bank, if you are trying to expect a visitor, you log it onto their software, and it would inform that a visitor is being expected, everything is being scheduled, access will be gotten. So the idea of you having to call reception and say, hello, please, I'm expecting somebody by 9, they will now call you as it was in those days. Are you expecting somebody? Do you have an appointment? The reception can already see from their system that an appointment has already been scheduled. So all you just need to do is to just come in, they check, you get your badge, and you go. Life is easier. You don't need to start calling and following up with everybody. And it creates an inclusive online environment. Like I've said, there's a disconnect currently. That because people don't see each other. But with this, you can feel part of something. So it's inclusive. You feel part of something. You feel like you're working and not just waking up, standing up, or going to your laptop, working and going back to bed, and you don't feel like you are part of something, you're just excluded and alone. No, it doesn't do that. So enable meaningful, positive employee experiences. For my time in when I spoke about employer branding, I'll let you know that employee experiences are very important for any organization to thrive and to succeed and to attract talent. So if you have a digital tool that for you as the employer and for the employee experience, because imagine when everything is automated, everything from the beginning to the end is automated. You don't have to stress, you don't have to pause. Technology has taken care of all of that. So it creates a positive experience from your recruitment stage to your exit stage. Everything is automated. So all you just need to do is have your laptop, have internet, and you work from anywhere with peace and prosperity. So digital culture helps you imbibe that. So like I said, culture has been defined over time to be the way and lifestyle of a people, put culture as simply put culture as the shared values, attitudes, behaviors, and beliefs that characterize or guide a company. While digital culture is simply shared attributes across common across digital organizations. So it's still part of your culture, but it's a bit different from the just culture. We have decided to use technology to advance, and we have decided to use technology to what's the word now? To automate everything and make it easier. So therefore, it's how you think and act to embrace transformation, to embrace innovation, to embrace digital disruption. Because from time to time, whether we like it or not, there would always be a disruption in the digital space. Something new is going to occur, something is going to come to cause something to occur. It's continuous for as long as we would live. We're going to keep evolving in that space. So we have to position our mindset and our cultures to be able to embrace what comes up in that space and how we integrate it with our businesses and the way we manage people or the way we handle our organization. So yes, it's been said culture is strategic for breakfast. No doubt. I agree. It is strategic for breakfast. But then again, what culture do you have? If you don't have an innovative culture, you have a bad culture, and you have a good strategy, I'm sorry, you are eating the wrong thing. You are eating the food that is supposed to help you grow, so you will be malnourished. And, and it's also been said that when it comes to digital innovation, change happens at the speed of culture. Exactly what I said before. Change occurs at the speed of culture. So the faster you integrate your culture into developing, change transformation will occur. So for you to have a culture that is targeted towards digital growth and transformation, it has to start with the grassroots. Whether you start, and I always suggest it from top to bottom transformation. So start with the innovating culture, you start with you start with the cultural transformation from the mindset, from the policies, and you start bringing it slowly and integrating it into your organization. And before you know it, people start to get used to it, people start to use it, people start to function effectively with it. Everything is now affected by the new culture. And over time, it just becomes a regular thing. It's no longer strange to people. New people come and adapt, people learn and also adapt. So what's the process of culture change? So it's to distinguish between the current state and where you want to be. So where are you and where are you hoping to get to? Then we're talking about digital transformation and digital culture anyway. So we think in terms of people, processes, and technology. Your people, what processes you have and what technologies you have to aid this culture change. For example, if you are thinking of becoming a fully remote multinational, I think that you would have to embrace some ERPs and some technologies to help you function across teams and across nations. And, processes will have to change to accommodate different cultures, different time zones, and, different systems. And also you have the people too. You cannot have somebody that's what's the word now? You cannot have an analog typewriter and all of a sudden you want to turn the person into a software developer. That's the ridiculous difference. So you have to think in terms of people, process, and tech, and how you want to get how what you have now currently aligns with where you want to be. And also behaviors also affect change, but that's another topic for change management. Behaviors also affect change. So if you want the desired change to occur, you have to reinforce the desired behaviors. So start with the mindset of the people, start with training, start with orientation, and gradually transformation is on the way. Now, cultural transformation. So cultural transformation is a shift that can take place throughout an organization or individual departments and teams. And this is where it starts. We start from the top of the period. We start from the top of the pyramid, which says that we start from the top of the pyramid, which says that culture is a shift that can take place throughout an organization. So we start from change and learning, which is the bottom of the pyramid, leadership development, management system, processes, and results. So it's when you start from the change and the learning, people start to embrace change, they start to learn change and everything. And then leadership behavior from the top. How are they encouraging change? How do they guide you through change? What is the management system? What is the system management is putting in place to help change and learning? What are the leadership's behavior towards change and learning? Are they encouraging it? Are they being part of the process? What really are they doing? Management systems. So we talked about ERPs, we talked about processes, we talked about technology, we're going to talk about budgeting, funding, and the processes. Everything leads to how we get to where we are. So everything aligns to the process, and then we have results. So results now gives us everything from the bottom to the top. Now, for cultural transformation, I believe that the top has a lot to play in all of this, because if you want to encourage the bottom to change and adapt, you are going to have to provide the necessary tools that they need to make that happen. You are going to have to provide the necessary support that they need to make that happen. You are going to actually act by leadership. You cannot say you want cultural transformation, and then we have said we want to grow. We have said that we want to be using Teams meeting, and when we want to do management meeting, you rather call me on WhatsApp. You are not helping the company. You are not helping growth. You are not helping cultural transformation. Then we move to the next one. So why you say digital culture is important, apart from the fact that the world is changing, it will really help your business. It will allow you grow. It will allow you innovate quickly. It will allow you adapt to emerging trends. Every time we have emerging trends coming up, something is coming up. I think the other day they had a lecture on the new chat box that, it's helping people a lot of ways. So having a digital culture actually helps to stay abreast with all of these and know which helps your organization most and how it helps you make business processes efficient, makes it easier, makes work easier, makes employer and employee relationships easier, and helps you to actually have better business relationships with your clients or with your customers, as the case may be. So it also helps you stay agile and future-proof of your business. There are few barriers and greater transparency, greater agility and adaptability, enhanced collaboration, innovation, and enhanced data collection. We all know that data is the new oil. Data is the new life. Data is life. So having a data-driven culture, which is also like having a digital culture, will also help you make better informed decisions, data-driven decisions. It helps you analyze, do the analytics of your organizations, see your data at a glance, know how well you are doing in terms of what you are trying to analyze. So data works effectively. The idea of people having to manually do everything becomes obsolete. It becomes non-existent anymore, and people work smoothly and function better while having a proper digital culture. So attributes of a digital culture. So we talked about having a digital first culture, customer centricity, which I earlier talked about, which is innovation, which is having better business relationship with your customers and your clients. Every customer likes ease of doing business. You can get ease of doing business easily by making things easier for your clients, easier for your customers, not making them get products or achieve results. It's a very long and an annoying process. You have customers complaining that, to get this product or to get this service, we have to go through this method, we have to go through, it's a bit cumbersome, I don't think I would like to do business with this person again. I don't think I'd be interested in doing this business. People always complain, but when everything is set in place, it makes business and easier, and it makes client relationships easier to foster. And you have returning clients, returning customers, and a lot of positive results for your business. Innovation. So what does the digital culture do? It gives it room for innovation. People keep trying to be innovative. Different things keep coming up that can aid business. Excuse me, that can aid business, that can aid employee relationships, ease of work, ease of business, give the employer a positive brand, make them attractive for the for talents, help profit making and everything. Because everything is automated, work is easier, results are more positive than before. So data-driven decision making, the data speaks for itself. So the idea of you having to use emotion-based decision or having to sit down for hours to try and think of how or where to get to make decisions. For example, I'll take a little bit of example of recruitment. You sit down there, everybody, and you have different panels, everybody in the room will discuss among themselves. They will review CV one after the other, fish out CVs one after the other. You make decisions based on emotions or current mindset and everything. But if you have a smart ATS, which is also part of having digital culture, you have a smart ATS, they upload their CV, the ATS sees it for you according to what you have what the specifications you have requested for. People put in their data, you interview them based on the data, make your decisions. So it's actually easier. You already have people that show test online, what do you call it? All this test application like Test Gorillas and co. So the idea of them coming to the office to come and write test one after the other, you now mark it, score it, put it in their experience, and create collaboration. You are able to collaborate with other, people that have such culture. So here is the thing. Digital culture, it opens an open culture. So an open culture, what do you think is an open culture? You are attractive to different generations. You are attractive to different, what's what I'll say now? Different people with different ideologies, digital mindset. For example, we have the younger generations and maybe some Nigerian foreign nationals that want to come back and I don't know, work in Nigeria, and they start looking for, where are the places that I can work that, makes it easier for me to where are the places that can work that makes it easier for me to work? Where are the places that can work that makes job easier? Oh, I don't want to work in places that look like where my father used to work or my mother used to work. I don't want to work in a cut and sew environment. I don't want to work in a place that looks like public sector. I'm looking for a place that looks like a place that would be innovative towards what I want to be. So you create an open culture whereby you have multi-generations being able to work. You have the young, you have the old, and you have the mid-faced. So which makes it easier. Now, a digital mindset. So we talked about culture being transformed from the mind. And that's why training is very important. Culture is being transformed by the mind, which makes training very important. So therefore, having the mindset of having a digital culture helps people to embrace culture, and also be able to accept innovation, accept change. Change transformation is very hard when dealing with human beings. People want to stay the way they are. People do not like to change. They want to stay the way they are. They are okay, they are comfortable in their own zone. They are comfortable doing whatever it is they want to do. They don't want to, what's the word now? They don't want to adapt to what is going on. They feel like them adapting adapting would probably make them fail, would probably make them lose their jobs and everything. So they don't want to grow. Now, helping them to have an digital mindset will help them to grow and adapt and embrace innovation, and also help them as well be innovative. So the more they are innovative, the more they are able to contribute meaningfully to the growth of the company, especially if the company is targeted at being a data-driven company or a digital-first company. So it enables them to learn and adapt and, grow with the company. Otherwise, the company will be stuck with employees that do not want to grow, and which may lead to them having an attrition rate or having people that are just basically redundant when they tend to now employ new people. So agility and flexibility. So you get people that are flexible towards change. So change could come in many forms, may not just be an ERP, may not just be a HRI. So change can forms, but it helps you see people that are driven towards they react faster, they learn faster, and they accept changes faster. Culture for the organization improvement. So it's still almost part of a digital mindset. So when you have that attitude and you have that agility and you have the culture, the open culture, and your customer centricity and all of this, and you go well with data-driven decisions, and you are innovative, all of this will help you to build a digital culture, which will allow you to adapt to new conditions, will allow you to adapt to new trends, will allow you to grow, and will allow you age digital transformation. So how do you evolve your digital culture? So like I said, using the pyramid before for cultural transformation, I usually prefer a top to bottom approach. So the leaders show the example and the bottom follow through. So deploy new change agents to empower employees to drive digital culture. You start with key officers, you start with trainings, you start with introducing a step at a time. You start with the team leads who gradually work their way to their subordinates and teach them on how they can adapt to the change that the management has gotten. So you design your KPIs focused on design KPIs, focus on digital KPIs, focus on behavior rather than success or failures. So behaviors on how they adapt to this new culture, and the culture behaviors they exhibit with your new culture, it will help them to embrace and grow with it, rather than if they get it right or if they fail it. If you are punitive, I doubt they will be interested in learning at all, because they feel like, oh, if I try it out and I don't get it, it will be counted against me. If I try it out and I don't get it, management may want to use that as an avenue to maybe fish them out or something. So you make your digital culture change tangible. You use collaboration tools to increase transparency, which means that it's visible for everybody to see. And there's also transparency in the system on how everything grows and how everything matters to the organization. There is no hidden tricks or foul play in which your employees lose trust in the organization and trying to think that probably you can you want to use it against them, or probably you are trying to phase them out. Some people think that the organization introduces some sort of culture to phase out old people in the system. Well, this might be true, but however, I don't think that anybody should view the organization in that manner. So invest in digital skills that matter. So if you are doing a lot of data-driven decisions, you may want to invest in some analytical skills. You want to invest in Excel. You may want to invest in other things that help the staff be able to function in that capacity and grow. So the company will have to invest in a lot of training to help staff to be up to speed with the kind of culture that they are looking for. So take a system thinking approach to culture change. and set clear visions and have leadership involvement. So clear visions on where you are taking the organization to, and what we're doing with this culture. For example, if I were to own a business and I say, oh, I've owned this business for a long time, I would like to take this business online. I would like to get more visibility and brand awareness online. I would like to attract a multinational market which will not have the mobility to come and meet me at my current location. So what's your vision? Let the employees know your vision and how to work in line with your vision, and you, the leadership, put visible involvement in change management, in trying to evolve to a digital culture, and so that they follow. Best lead by example. So what is digital transformation? Digital transformation can refer to anything from IT modernization to to digital optimization to the invention of new digital business models. So it can be a lot of things, like I said. It can be a new ERP, it can be a new software, it can be a new business collaboration, it can be a new vision, where you want to take the company to. It can be wanting to be an employer of choice, so you have decided to get tools to aid performance and to also make ease of work. So a lot of things can be termed as digital transformation. It's not just necessarily I want to do something that is probably you want to put the company into a new coding business or whatever. Necessarily not, no, but it's just IT modernization to digital optimization. So you are modernizing your processes, you are modernizing your tools, and you are phasing out analog ways and analog tools to be able to embrace the future, which is digitalization. So HRO transformation, essentially it is the process of adapting digital human resource tools and strategies to improve the employee experience and enhance operational performance through data-driven and automated practices, which is what we have said just now, that it is to enhance employee experience, operational experience, and through data-driven automated practices. So when you have ERPs and you have IT tools, a lot of things are now automated. A lot of things don't require manual attention anymore. You set how you want it to be, and it keeps going into the system just the same way until you decide to change it, which makes work really easy for you, the managers of people, for you, the business owners, and it makes employee experience very positive. The outcome of employee experience is very positive way measured for the employees, because work is made easier. They have the tools to deliver. It makes work easier and they are more efficient. So you might ask, how does digital transformation help your business? So I cannot particularly tell you that these are the tools you will require to help your organization get to the point of digital transformation. However, your kind of business, what you are doing, your mission, what you want to do, what you tend to achieve will help you know the right tools for your business to help your business grow. Whatever sector or industry you play in would also help you know what tools and optimization you require. You understand? For example, I work in a law firm, and we have tools to help that accommodate law firms, to accommodate lawyers, the kind of business that we do, selling intellectual properties, and how we measure time, how we measure effort, how we track our briefs and everything. So there are tools that are made for stuff like that. And I'm sure the banking sector, they have that, insurance sector, tech sector. So they have everything that they need to help them move their business to be optimized digitally. So you should know what kind of business you have, what industry you play in, and how the tools are, and what tools would help you to move your business forward. So we have stages of digital transformation. So we have stages of digital transformation, and we have the innovative. We start with the business as usual. Well, business as usual is where you currently are. That's your business as usual, where you currently are pre your transformation stage, or at the beginning of your transformation stage rather. Then you have the present, and you have the active. which says that the various experiments throughout this organization drive through digital literacy and creativity. So while you are trying to transform, I'm sure that you would analyze different tools, and you try, like I said before, that different businesses and different industries would require different digital tools for optimization. So the formalize is where the business relevance comes in. So how the business transform from point A to point B, and not that in trying to optimize your business, you lose where you lose your current values and you lose your current missions and transform into something else that's taking you initially from what you are trying to do or you're trying to be. And also there's nothing you can do without strategy. So you have the strategic where individuals realize the power of collaboration and shared efforts. So people have to come together to be innovative, to think through shared efforts, ideas, create roadmaps to having a strategy on digital transformation. So therefore it brings about the power of collaboration. At some point, you may even seek collaboration from other organizations, third-party consultants, and so on and so forth, just to be able to create a strategy that works for your organization. And then you have the converged. This is where the dedicated digital transformation team is formed to guide the company from strategy and operations. Well, I would suggest if you are new to digital transformation, you may get a consultant, to be able to guide you and offer better advice on services that you would need to optimize your business. Well, however, if you have somebody inside that is good on strategy and knows what they are doing, I'm sure that this should be covered so that you can have somebody to lead strategy. So they help people to adapt to your new strategy. They help people to embrace it. They help people guide. They check what people are learning and they help people to learn. They find tools. They find courses. They find basically they guide so that we move from business as usual to where we want to be, and of course the adaptive stage. So when we get to digital, when we have achieved digital transformation, that stage now becomes the new business as usual, because you have moved from as it were to as it is now. So, and then you constantly also have to also keep checking and staff to ensure that it's not just a one-off. Some people just to use this, so use this and that's the knowledge and shove it under their table and move on KPIs to measure line managers. There's no attention from the top, and leaders are not only trying to achieve, and a lot of it just goes under the table after some time. I think that's also happens in a lot of public sectors. There's no follow-up, so just try and achieve it and people just sweep it under. So the barriers of digital transformation. So according to Gartner's report, it was reported that digital transformation is faced with sharing and collaboration. The business is not ready, the talent gap. The current practices do not support the talent, and change is not easy. Now, let's go back again to what I said about culture. Culture is necessary for digital transformation, to enable digital culture. But however, if your culture is such that wants to remain the way it is, no one would actually achieve anything. Because why? You need the mindset of the people to shift, to accept where you want to go. So if they are resisting change, there is nothing, it's going to be a very tough terrain to actually mind on the mindset of the people that you work with. And even if you say you'd want to bring a set of innovative people to add, it will always be the same thing because they have not grown, because they are willing not to adapt. The idea of if you can't beat them, join them will come in. I'm sure most people working in organization will say when they come into a new place, you say, this is how it's done here. You say no, this is how it's done here. So you follow us and do it the way we are doing it because they are not interested in hearing anything new that is coming up. Now, limited sharing and collaborations. Well, in some kind of organizations, which I think some people will be able to relate with, there are some organizations whereby two team leads don't talk to each other. However, when they have to collaborate on something, it is always terrible because they won't speak to each other. The work is going to slow down, it's going to pend, they're going to drag everybody in their mess. So imagine if IT and admin are fighting, or finance and IT are fighting. You can imagine. IT would write for equipment, finance will keep it under the table for as long as possible. Just because you have an issue with somebody. So when there's limited, it's an issue. It is a big issue because it's like, you know what, let's just stick to the way it's excuse me, they take it forward. But the business is not ready. Leaders are not ready to do the needful. They are not ready to accept the change that they are clamoring for. They're not ready to release the resources for the change. And, you know, a lot of back and forth. And before you know it, everybody is tired of pushing and things just go back to business as usual. And we'll never just really move. We'll never really just move from the business as usual phase at all. We'll just stay there and probably we'll come back in a couple of years again and we'll try again. Talent gap. It is very important that apart from you having people that are willing to change, you need to have the right talent for it. For example, I spoke about having an analog secretary. It will be wicked of you to change an analog secretary in 2 months into a data analyst. First of all, the person is used to a manual typewriter. You've not given the person a computer, then you now want to give the person Excel or probably SQL or something. It's going to be really hard. But whereby you have somebody that feels that need at that time, you know, it is easier. So there's a talent gap. But however, you must not necessarily always recruit talent from outside. You can always identify talents in-house and train them for to fill in the gap that has arisen by trying to evolve. Current practices do not support the talents. Okay, so then again, we come back to still the business is not ready, or, you know, the leadership not being willing to work. You are saying that, for example, you are saying that you want to automate a lot of things. You want to automate a lot of things, and I'll give you a real life experience. You want to automate a lot of things. You want to stop signing manual. I had a boss that said, well, I want to stop signing manual approvals, you know, and everything. So, and they're like, okay, there are a lot of ERPs that can help with all of this. You know, you can track the approval channels. You know, it is easy. You can approve from the comfort of your home. It's going to cost you a little bit of money, but you're going to take away all the stress that you have, you know, and you have talents that have the capacity to do all of that. And then what happens? The talents, we've done all of that. You train people inside, you train people for that role. Probably they've had trainings in QuickBooks and, you know, you've even recruited somebody with those specifications just so that, you know, you can move forward. And then you now have policies that say, oh, after the managing partner signs 3 other partner your processes, you have not updated your practices, and, you know, you go and do all of that, and the head of accounts will say, no, I don't accept this. I must see a manual payment voucher with everybody appending their signature to it because that's the way, that's what is in the policy. So the current practices do not support the talent. So the talent that you have gone to go and invest in training for, the talent that you have gone to go and get specialized hands for, your current practices do not support that talent. So what do you want the talent to do? What do you want the talent to do? So there is a problem. Now, change is not easy. But however, it is still not the easiest thing to do. It takes a lot. In the world of managing people, I've actually come to realize that change is not the easiest thing to do. And there are a lot of people that are stuck in their ways. Now, if you need to achieve digital transformation, you will have to work with people to change, however hard that might be. But if people are refusing to change and you cannot effect change, it is a huge barrier to digital transformation. And in the previous slide, I have also said that it has been reported through surveys that change is the biggest barrier to digital transformation. While all of this, all the other things that we have listed can evolve over time, but however, change may not evolve over time if the people are not willing to change or their mindset are not willing to shift. So you'd have to work on their mentality to help you aid change transformation. Change transformation is another big topic of another day, and I'm sure people that are specialized in that area know how difficult it might be to move people. Some people will easily move, some people will not easily move, while some people will work as agents of change. That is their job, to work as agents of change, because they are comfortable with the current practice and they have built their whole life and system around it. So thereafter. So what are the steps you can do to overcome barriers of digital transformation? Well, I have just named just three. There are so many, but I've named three. So support from the top. Like I said, you have to lead by example. If the leaders do not show support, if the leaders do not lead by example, then you cannot get people to follow. If the leader takes the rest easily follow. Then also the leaders, they don't only support by doing or being involved in technology, they also support by, helping the recruiters to allow digital transformation to sit down in budget meetings with C-suite and ESCOs. I'm sure a lot of people know how it goes, trying to argue and defend your budget on why you need XYZ amounts. So management can also support in that way. It can support by hiring talent or giving approval to hire talent. They can support by, for those that are technologically inclined, to be mentors to those that are coming up. Where there's nobody that's technologically inclined, they can support also by allowing consultants that technically inclined, or maybe hiring, depending on the chief innovation officer. Some large organizations have that chief innovation officer, chief digital officer, things like that. So while those ones coach the team leads, and the team leads then pass the knowledge down to their subordinates. So support from the top down to the bottom. So it comes from the leaders or owners of the business. It comes from the leaders and the owners of the business, down to managers, down to team leads, down to supervisors, until the bottom of the chain is completed. So the pyramid shows from top to bottom. So from top to bottom shows us how the management can effect change, where change starts and where change ends, and then we achieve results. Removing silos. So removing silos is still the same thing as collaboration. Where there is no collaboration, well, innovation cannot occur. Removing silos help to removing silos help to foster collaboration, and also remove barriers between departments. For example, we talked about having collaborations, helping to build innovations and every other thing. It also helps us to build productivity. It helps to impact innovations. It removes this mentality of me only. It removes the mentality of it's not my thing. But there also, it also helps to create cross-functional teams. So in the sense that everybody helps each other to achieve business goals and functions, helps each other to grow. There's a collaboration from top to bottom. There's cross-training between departments, internal facilitated training. So imagine being able to collaborate with your other teams, and there's a document that needs to go out. Collaboration tools can also help, which is like Microsoft 365. So you have the SharePoint and everything, the Google Documents, and some other IT tools that help for collaborations and sharing documents. So when you don't have collaborations between teams, one team, you share one document for another team to attend to, and the team will not, thereby stalling the work, thereby causing frustration, thereby reducing productivity. So removing silos between departments can actually help teams to function effectively, and also to execute projects from start to finish. If you are going to do digital transformation, it's actually going to involve more than just one team. It's going to involve different teams, and they need to work together to start and finish. Remember, we talked about from business as usual to the end, which is the adaptive stage. The adaptive stage now becomes the new business as usual. Then breaking through risk aversion. So there's nothing that doesn't come with risk, and you must mitigate risk as we go. So I won't say anybody's going to get it right at first, but you learn on the job. And whereby you guys try to engage in digital transformation, there may be a lot of risk that will come in between new things that you are trying. It may not work at first, it may not work for your organization, so you try it, you invest in money, it doesn't work with people, they can't use it, your money is already gone for the license, you try another thing trying to move. So if you don't try to work with your employees through it, whereby people don't blame each other for mistakes, people move and learn from your mistakes, it won't work. Case in point, our organization, a product management tool was procured of thousands of dollars. And, it was very hard to manage. Not a lot of training was given. It was very complicated. So they couldn't use it. But license had been paid for about, I think, 2 years or so. And they couldn't use it. So rather than the management blaming people, everybody blaming everybody, I thought they would have taken their learnings and moved on and tried something else that actually was adaptive to their business. Like I said, just because the IT technology exists does not mean it's for you. So you must know what works for you. Otherwise, well, you just have made an attempt of digital transformation, but you might not achieve it because you are going about it the wrong way. So for people that say, oh, I don't want to change, I'm comfortable with where I am, I don't want to move forward, I'm here to break the bad news. If you don't move forward, you will fade out. Things 5 years ago are not as they are now. Things as they are now will not be the same 10 years ago. The world is constantly evolving. As long as the world keeps spinning, things will keep coming up, things will keep changing. AI has come to stay, and it's our time that we embrace it. It's so sad that sometimes you still go into some organizations and, they have refused to move because they said that, oh, my guy is comfortable this way. I have worked in an organization in the past whereby a lot of things are still done the very manual way. People keep, bank reconciliation statements are done by hand. You print the statement, they will tick it. They will calculate with calculator with their various invoices. When they are done, for how many hours of productive time, over time that will not be paid for. Then they will now give it to their supervisor. Supervisor will do the same thing. Then give it to Oga. Oga will do the same thing. And I'm like, all of this could have been solved by software in actually a day or less than. But they're like, no, this is the way we want it. This is the way we understand the business. If we give room for change, I'll be exposed to theft, I'll be exposed to risk. Yes, there will be risk. Even what you are currently doing now is a risk as well. If I'm able to, if there are loopholes that anybody can explore, you are still open to risk. If you miss one thing and that's it, that's all. It just takes you to make a human mistake, and that's all. So rather than saying that I'm refusing to change, I think the idea is, how do I embrace change, or where do I start the change from rather? So it's not optional. However, change is in your hands, and change can only come as fast as you want it to come. So in a world that is digitalizing at a fast pace, we need to create a digital culture to aid digital transformation. So while we are talking about culture, we should ask ourselves, does our culture allow us to embrace the future that is to come? Does our culture allow us to make work easier and processes faster? Does our culture allow for automated processes? Does it allow for IT technology? What does it allow for? So I will end with this last scenario. There is a place I worked in named Health, and an employee was going to go. And you know what that employee did? The employee was the only person in that department, because a lot of people had gone, and they were trying to infuse that department with another department. And the employee cleaned the entire system and gave it to the organizations. Files of previous clients were there, till today were not recovered. Files of clients that were being worked on that should have been handed over, till today were not recovered. Business relationships that have been fostered, that had leads that the organization were chasing, were lost, because not one thing was handed over. So there's nothing they could do. If you like, you threaten him, you don't threaten him. He's ready for the worst, because he's disgruntled. Why he's disgruntled is another topic for another day. But however, if they were backing that thing up to cloud, I don't think that would have been the case. Regular backups back to cloud. So even if the employee leaves, it's in the cloud. The next person comes, all you just need to do is to download the files for the next person, and they continue seamlessly. So technology would have actually saved all of that and made life easier for everybody. So it is not an option, it is a necessity. So I hope that with this training, would go back to our various processes and our various establishments and see the culture we have there, and audit ourselves and think of what we are doing that is actually stopping digital transformation in our organization, and advise our establishment on how we can make it happen and embrace it to make work not only easy for ourselves, but to boost employee experience and help us manage people better, help us retain and attract talent, and give our brands a positive brand. Thank you very much.
Wow, that is so engaging. Thank you so much for that insightful presentation. If you like to ask questions, share your thoughts, kindly raise your hands so that we can recognize you and give you the floor. Let me just attempt to recap some of the key things I picked and some of my own key thoughts. With respect to digital culture, the use of social media and other online platforms for communication, self-expression, and community building is important. So you now have creation and consumption of digital content, including multimedia, games, and virtual experiences. We must embrace the use of digital technologies for learning and education, for collaboration. Of course, digital technologies have impact on work and employment. Some of them include things like remote work and hybrid and the likes. Okay, we may also need to think around the ethical and social implications of digitalization with respect to the world of work. Would there be issues of privacy? Would there be issues around surveillance? And so on and so forth. This has been a very enlightening session. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. Anyone with any comments or questions or thoughts? If not, we may call it a night, but it would be good someone say something. Or would someone like to do the vote of thanks? if you don't want to ask a question or a comment. Should I nominate someone? Let me check the chat box to see if there's any comments or thoughts. So Ali Ibrahim says, thank you so much. This is awesome. All right. I think it will be a convenient place to call it a wrap, call it a night, call it a day. Thank you so much, Ruth, for coming to our aid, our rescue, for your generosity and magnanimity to share out of your wealth of experience. We do not take this for granted. All things being equal, going forward, we hope to be able to integrate a significant portion of these insights in our workplace, and also to see how we can make our culture even more digital so that we can be personally, professionally, and as representatives of in our organization, influencers will be a place that is even more ready and prepared for the future of work that is now even in our present. Thank you so much, Ruth.
Thank you very much, sir. Bye,
Thank
sir.
you.
Okay.